DK Metcalf ran an official 10.37 seconds in the 100-meter dash at the USA Track and Field Golden Games yesterday. He did not make the final, but finished 15th overall out of 17 runners. The receiver still drew lots of praise on Twitter, including Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes, for how fast he can still move at 6'4" and 235 pounds. So, Shannon, how surprised were you by his performance?
I was very surprised. I was pleasantly surprised. I was thinking he'd run somewhere between 10.55 and 10.7, considering, Skip, his size, considering his lack of technique, considering that he wasn't known as a high school sprinter. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, yeah, he ran 4.33 with some training, but now that's 60 more yards, 60 meters that he's going to have to run farther than he ran at the combine. And so for him to run that time, 10.37 at 235 pounds, that's moving. Given his technique, I mean, because, Skip, when you run professionally, Skip, your time, people say your time is measured every 4 years, but it's not. It's measured in seconds, because that's the difference between winning and losing. And reaction time, drive phase, how much gain are you? If you look at him, Skip, you see the top sprinters, he's got up and down. He has too much dorsiflexion in his ankle, so he's going up and down. Ankle needs to stay cocked, so you're launching yourself forward. And you look at him, he gets to 50 meters, the other elite guys, they start to pull away. And that's something that he doesn't understand, that's how you do it. How can you run without decelerating as fast as he did? But, Skip, for him to run that, he had to be training. I'll say he's been training 6 weeks to 8 weeks, 2 months. And to run 10.37 is to be respected. He brought a lot of eyeballs to track and field, because really the only time we talk about track and field is the Olympics and maybe the world. We had people talking about trying to find and watch this because of DK Metcalf ran. So I'm happy that he was able to get it done. But now you get an opportunity to see. You see how fast he was moving, and he finished 15th out of 17 guys. That lets you know. Now, there's a great chance that the guys that you saw yesterday, they're probably not going to make the Olympic finals. That's the level of speed that we're talking about. But DK Metcalf, you should be commended, bro. To run that fast at that size, that's exceptional.
Blew me away. I thought 10.6. That's what we talked about on Thursday.
Even Otto Bolden, Skip, and Otto Bolden knows track. If you want to see, I love listening to Otto Bolden and Michael Johnson talk track. He said, I thought he'd run somewhere between 10.6 and 10.7. I thought 10.55 and 10.7. So we were kind of close, and he went 10.37?
What?
He acquitted himself very well.
6 feet 4 inches, as you say, 235 pounds. I'm pretty sure my eye test told me he was the biggest man on the track.
He's 70 pounds bigger than those guys.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Now, the difference, obviously, between a sprinter and a marathoner is sprinters need muscle. They need to be ripped.
Right.
They are powerful.
Yeah, they need explosion.
You have to be explosive because you're not going to be able to sustain that for more than 100 meters, maybe 200 if you run the 200.
Right.
But at some point, the marathoner is going to have to just be a waif because you can't. It's the physics of how far can you carry your 125 pounds.
Because here's the thing, Skip, muscle requires oxygen.
It does.
And you need, that's why those little Kenyans, that's why the guys that win the marathon, Skip, they weigh 120, 115. Because they need to carry as little weight as possible over 26 miles.
They're just gifted in processing oxygen faster and better and longer.
They can dissipate lactic acid better than...
Okay. So when I saw this happen, and I looked at the results that, again, he finished dead last. He didn't finish last in his heat, but in the overall.
Oh, he's 15th out of 17.
Right. 15th out of 17. That's actually a huge upset to me. That you could actually, because these are hardcore Olympic hopefuls and seasoned professionals. That's what they were. And he was up against it. And by the way, he says this is the first time he's ever competed in 100 meters. He did not run the 100 in high school.
Right.
So this is the first time that you step on a track and try to compete against the best our country has to offer, right?
Right.
And you came within 0.41 seconds, so it's not even a half a second, of the winner of the race, who was Cravon Gillespie. So that's still a lot on the track. Like a half a second is a long time on the track. But still, it's impossibly impressive that he had the guts to go do it and that he acquitted himself that well.
Skip, it's the equivalent of somebody going out there. If Steph Curry goes out there and says, you know what, I'm gonna go I'm gonna play golf, and he goes out there and he beats 2 professionals in the field, because those guys are professionals. They do this.
It'd be the equivalent to me of making the cut.
Yeah, well,
you know, where you survive to Saturday, Sunday.
And that's the thing. But Skip, get a guy credit. Like you said, he's not known as a sprinter.
No.
Now Anthony Schwartz, the guy that was at Auburn, Skip, he ran 10:09 and 10:13 legit times in high school. So I believe if he were to train, he probably could go low. But Skip, he's 175 pounds. This dude is 235. And most sprinters, I don't know how many people have ever been around a sprinter, but they're small. Tops 170. I mean, I saw Justin Gatlin up close, and I've seen Michael Johnson up close. Michael Johnson is a tiny, tiny man, 165. Justin Gatlin probably was 170. Most of them, Skip, Mike Rogers is probably 160.
Bolt was taller.
Bolt was taller, but Skip, he's 6'6", 205.
Yeah.
So you imagine 6'6", 205. That's still thin. But with the lack of technique, if you watch, he comes out, he pops straight up. He doesn't understand how to propel himself and stay low. Drive. But Skip, 10:37 and not being a sprinter, not having a sprint background. That's unbelievable, man.
So USA Track and Field tweeted about this, saying, for everyone asking if we have a spot open on our relay team for DK, NFL players are welcome to come test their speed against real speed at the Olympic trials. So they were a little offended that he thinks he could just step out there and do anything. And he said afterwards that I didn't mean any disrespect to anybody.
No.
DK said, I wasn't trying to disrespect these guys. I just wanted to test myself against the best.
Right.
Well, he did.
Right.
And there was some humility involved. He got humbled.
Yeah, they go smack. But Skip, like Trevon Bromell has already run 980. He's right now the front runner. Now, Christian Coleman got suspended, and Christian Coleman has already been below. He's run well below 980. But Skip, like I said, you see this. You covered the game. I was up close to Willie Gault. I was up close to Sam Grady. I was up close to James Jett, because they all
played pro football.
That ran in the Olympics.
They ran.
Sam Grady won a silver medal in the 100 meters, won the gold medal in the 4x1. So did James Jett. When you
Willie
see
Gault was a
hurdler. Skip, when you see it up close, you like the acceleration. Like Tyreek, you see Tyreek. Tyreek is a football player that actually has track speed. He's gotten too muscle bound now, so I don't know if he could, probably pull a muscle, try to,
He's talked about trying to go back on the track,
But for DK, Skip, with no background in sprinting, after 6 weeks, 8 weeks of training, to run this kind of time, it lets you know the level of athlete that he is. So now, we're flipping around. USA Track and Field, send your best and brightest out on the football field. Send your best and brightest out there.
Touche.
You know what I'm saying? The camps are coming up shortly.
See how long they last.
Ask Ronaldo Nehemiah. Skeets Nehemiah was as great as they came.
I was there.
He ran the shallow cross. It was a zone. He should have set it down. He kept going. And the rest we say is history. It's a different ball. It's a different mentality.
So DK was asked later after the race, any plans to continue to train to try to reach the Olympic trials? He's got a long ways to go. And he finally said, you know what? It's time to get back to football. It's time for mini camp. Well, the truth is, I don't mind him doing this for a while, because it is a great way to stay in shape. I'll buy that. But at some point, you need to be catching passes from your quarterback. Right now, as we speak, maybe right now it's literally as we speak, somewhere down in Tampa, Brady might be throwing to his receivers, because that's all they do. They work on timing and rapport through the offseason, so that when it's 3rd and 8 at Lambeau Field, you just know where each other is going to be.
A lot of guys actually do track workouts. A lot of the skill position, the DBs, the wide receivers, they do that. And because I did that later in my career, you don't realize how technical running is. People think you just get out there and just run. But there's so much technique in running, and then to run fast and to run faster, it becomes more and more technical. So he doesn't have the technique. He's just fast. He's just a big, fast guy. And it lets you know, DK, you ain't gonna sneak up on anybody anymore. They gonna give you cushion now. They gonna like, man, DK gonna go blow by us. Man, I take my hat off because I did not expect him to run that fast. I've seen my brother ran 10.50 in high school.
Did he?
Yeah, he ran 10.50 in high school.
At what size?
He was 6 foot, 176.
Really?
Yeah.
He was that small.
He was that small, yeah.
Really?
Because he played it.
He played 210, 212.
Wow, he was
played
that
big.
little.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. So 21-2, 200 meters, but that's moving. For the guy that size, I mean, I've only seen Herschel. Herschel could run that size, but Herschel was 220, 225. That's 10 more pounds, 2.5 more inches than what Herschel. But Herschel could run, 10, 20.
I told you, I covered indoor meets with Herschel in the offseason when he was a Dallas Cowboy. He ran one in Dallas, the old Times Herald indoor meet, February, I believe it was. And he placed in the 60s.
Oh, yeah. He could get out. Yeah. You know what? Who I would have liked to see? I'd like to see Time run.
Yeah.
But Skip, you remember Ron Brown? Ron Brown played with the Rams. He was another track guy that could fly.
I couldn't believe, I honestly couldn't believe the negative reaction that some people had with this. I thought it was refreshing to see from DK. He brought a lot of good attention.
People don't like to see other people come from outside.